I'm here today to talk to you about steroids in baseball and why they're wrong, and how they've hurt the game, and not only how they've hurt it, but how they've hurt the players and the young children that look up to the game. And when they look up and see their favorite players using steroids, they're going to be tempted to use it. But not only that, steroids are wrong, immoral for the game, because when you see a major league or collegiate player using steroids, that young kid's going to have to look up to them, and they're going to say, oh, you know, if I work hard, which everyone tells them to do, which is work hard and, you know, practice hard, that they're going to be able to achieve those kind of goals, which is kind of unrealistic because that player was using steroids. And when you go ahead and use steroids, there's a few things that it does to the body. It hurts the body in numerous ways, but a couple of the ways are, you know, it destroys your organs and your heart, your liver, your lungs, and that such. And when it does that, it's not only making a better player, it's making actually a worse player and a worse citizen for the world, because he's going to end up dying early death, or you know, or he's going to do something that's not totally what was intended for him to do in the game. And so how, you know, and then when you use steroids, you're cheating in the game, and when you cheat the game, you're cheating all of the great players that came before you. And when you cheat them, you know, it's not right for you to come up, as all these young players have done in the past 20 years or 15 years, and come up and have these tremendous home run seasons of 45, 50 plus home runs. And when you do that, it's just kind of disgracing the game a little bit, because those little kids are looking up now saying, you know, instead of having, you know, a great season like the Babe Ruth or the Hank Aaron's of the world, you know, being content with 40 or 45 home runs, they're having to look at people hitting 70 and 75 home runs a season. And none of those are realistic without the use of steroids. And, you know, it doesn't only hurt the game, it hurts the amateur and high school levels, because you have kids that are 14 and 13 years old who use steroids, and they really reach their peak when they're 15 and 16 years old instead of, you know, progressing into their late 20s, or when they're actually supposed to hit their peak. And when they do that, they end up throwing 95 or 93 when they're 14 and 15 and 16 years old, and then they end up hurting their arm because their body's not ready to, you know, handle such a, you know, high output of velocity from their arm. And when they do that, you know, they're cheating the game, because they could have done something great, or they could have done more with themselves than just, you know, have an early retirement, I guess, is what they've done. The game has changed from it in a few different ways. It's kind of had the records tossed around and had them blown out of proportion, rather than being at a normal level as what they were before. And where they were before, it was a reachable level for amateur and professional athletes, but now it seems like the numbers that they put up are astronomical. And when young players are trying to do that, they look to other things, you know, drugs or such like steroids, to make their performances better. And when that happens, the whole game itself has changed, and baseball really shouldn't be proud of that. And the public opinion of baseball is, anytime anyone who knows nothing about the game or very little about the game kind of starts talking, you know, these players are nothing, you know, it's not like they've really done anything except use a performance-enhancing drug, when that's not the case. When most of the players aren't using them, but some do, and those players that are actually using them are kind of in the limelight of the sport, they end up making the whole sport look bad, and that everyone's on steroids, because they're the main figures in the sport. And when that happens, young kids look up and say, you know, no one in baseball is actually using nothing but performance-enhancing drugs, so they feel that they have to use them to make it to that next level. And when they do that, you know, it just ruins the whole entire game. And steroids have altered the game in a way that no one could have foreseen, you know, the U.S. Congress and all that. But with that said, steroids are bad for the game, bad for people, and bad for the entire, just the mindset of baseball, and it just needs to be stopped.